Hi guys, welcome back. I'm Aidan.
And I'm Daniel.
I have NF1.
And so do I, also NF1.
Welcome to Tumor Talk. So I was thinking today we could maybe focus on the way it is as people that are visually affected to be stared at, looked at, and sometimes singled out because of the way we are affected.
Well, for me, wearing a brace, I remember being very self-conscious when I was younger.
Yeah.
I remember I would always wear pants in the summer because I didn't want people staring at me. Since my leg length discrepancy was just a bit off, I would limp a bit and people would make fun of me for it. Or I would be called crippled or something like that. So that just would very much be annoying and bothersome, and it would upset me. But then one day when I was at a vacation place all the way in South New Jersey called Wildwood, I was walking with shorts, and this kid was staring at me.
Yeah.
And I stared back at him, and I just thought, why should I care if people think that if they think it's weird or if they think it's stupid or anything like that. And I just wear shorts in the summer now. I don't care.
Yeah.
And if people stare, I'll just either look back at them or we'll just ignore them.
Yeah. I mean, similarly to when you mentioned about being on vacation, I remember I went away with my stepbrothers, my mother, and we were in Antigua, and we were at a resort. And I remember my stepbrother, who was 15 at the time, wanted to go it was waterboarding or whatever, and when you hang on the end of the boat and they drive something like that.
Yeah.
And he wanted to do one of those things, and you had to be 18, and he had to have a legal adult with him, somebody over the age of 18. So I walked up and I was like, I'll do it. I was 18. I was like, I am perfectly capable of acting as the responsible legal adult on that boat. But he's not going to do anything, it's just one of the requirements. So we walked up and we were like, hey, my stepfather went with us, they're going to go on the boat, he's 18, and they're like, we're not letting him on the boat. They looked at me and they're like, he told me to FBI, he said, you are a liability.
Wow. And how did you...
Well, first I was visibly, I was shocked. I was so shocked. That
is something that's very shocking, that he just looks at you, sees your tumor, and judges the entire personality, your entire life, your entire standing or walking, or sitting, just
you're a
based off
liability.
of a tumor. Do you ever feel that people are staring at you because of your tumor?
People do stare at me.
What do you do about that? Do you stare back? Do you
the thing is, because of the fact that I live in New York, it's mostly children. So it's mostly I am a 20-year-old man. I'm not going to get upset at the 8-year-old boy and girl walking down the street that are staring at me.
Right, kids will do that.
They've never seen it before. They're probably really nice. At this point, especially as I've become more active in working for CTF and advocating, but sometimes a kid stare at me, I smile, I wave, and I'm like, yeah, it's a tumor. But I know they stare at me. Adults really don't in the city, probably just because it's the city.
It's New York.
Yeah, it's New York.
There's a guy in Times Square, the naked cowboy.
Yeah.
So you see everything.
Yeah, you've seen it all. But what about you? Did you feel people stare at you?
Me? Well, whenever I wear pants, people don't really notice it or notice my lift. But when I wear shorts, I do notice quite a lot of staring.
Yeah, so nobody notices the shoes, do they?
Not really. There are some people that they'll be like, that shoe's ginormous. That must be 2 or 3 times bigger. I'm like, no. The right one's size 11, and so is the left one.
Yeah, that's a nifty shoe.
And they're always like, what? And then, I'll explain the lift. Yeah. And it's always kind of like, oh, that's cool.
I remember, when I was younger, I would get really upset.
Me, I would get somewhat upset. Yeah. And but something else that I thought of that's a pro with the brace is you get a seat on the train.